You know the feeling. You meet someone, and within seconds, the conversation flows effortlessly. Then there are those other interactions where, despite your best efforts, you feel totally locked out, like you're speaking two completely different languages. This difference comes down to a framework within Neuro-linguistic Programming, or NLP. Specifically, it is driven by what are called representational systems, the unique ways our brains filter and code the world around us. By the end of this video, you will complete a personal audit. We will map out your brain's lead system and your preferred system, giving you a repeatable method to build instant rapport with anyone you talk to. Before we start mapping, grab a pen and paper, or just have your smartphone ready with a voice recording app open. You will need them for step 2. Mapping these pathways provides a repeatable sequence for navigating interpersonal connections. Step 1 is understanding how your brain stores information. To make sense of the outside world, we recreate it internally using our physical senses. In NLP, the main channels for this are known as the VAC framework: visual, auditory, and kinesthetic. This means your thoughts are constructed by seeing internal pictures, hearing sounds and dialogue, or feeling physical sensations and emotions. Your lead system is the initial spark. It is the very first thing your brain reaches for when you try to pull a memory from storage. Let's test yours right now. Close your eyes for a moment and actively think back to your last vacation. Pay attention to the exact fraction of a second the memory hit you. Did a picture of the landscape flash in your mind? Did you hear the sound of the ocean or city traffic? Or did you feel the warmth of the sun or the relaxation in your shoulders? You can often spot this spark in other people by watching their eyes when they search for a memory. Generally, looking up indicates a visual search. Looking side to side indicates an auditory search, and looking down points to a kinesthetic or feeling-based search. Identifying that initial flash gives you a direct look into how someone's inner world operates, the exact moment they begin to process information. But the lead system is only the starter motor. Your preferred system is the engine. This is how you consciously process thoughts and how you naturally speak, especially when you are under pressure. Time for step 2. Pause this video, open up your voice memo app or grab your pen, and spend exactly 60 seconds describing a hobby you love. Do it quickly without filtering yourself. Now, review what you just recorded. We are looking for what NLP calls predicates, specific sensory-based words that reveal your active processing system. If you used words like see, look, clear, or picture, you are operating with a visual preference. You are literally describing the images in your head. If your description is full of words like sounds, resonate, tune out, or click, you lean toward an auditory preference. You process through internal dialogue and rhythm. And if you relied on words like grasp, heavy, smooth, or catch, you have a kinesthetic preference. You evaluate ideas based on how they physically feel. Don't lock yourself into a rigid box here. No one uses just one system. These are contextual preferences, not fixed identities, and your balance will shift depending on the situation. Identifying which predicates a person defaults to reveals how they are actively structuring their experience. Now that we've mapped your baseline, step 3 applies this outward. Think of a specific person you struggle to communicate with, maybe a manager or a partner. Mentally scan your recent conversations with them. What sensory words do they use most often? Do they tell you to look at the big picture, or do they ask to talk things through? Once you know their preference, you use a technique called translating. This means taking your standard point and actively rephrasing it into their preferred sensory system. Let's test this in a practical scenario, pitching a new project idea to that specific manager. Look at this before and after chart. If your boss is highly visual, you don't use the neutral phrase, "I have an idea." You translate it. "Let me show you how this looks. I've mapped out a clear picture." If their system is auditory, you adjust the pitch. "Let's talk through this. I want to make sure we are in tune." And if they process kinesthetically, you ground the idea in physical sensation. "Let's get a feel for this project. I want to make sure we have a solid grasp." Be careful not to robotically overuse these words. If you force too many predicates into one sentence, it sounds unnatural. Just sprinkle them in naturally where they fit. Matching the listener's sensory preference reduces the effort required for them to process your message. You have now mapped your internal lead system, identified your preferred speaking style, and prepared a translated sentence for someone else's brain. This alignment functions by presenting information in the specific sensory format the other person already uses to organize their thoughts. You are speaking their brain's native language, and that creates an immediate sense of rapport and trust. Here is your final task. In your very next conversation with that specific, difficult person, use the translated phrase you just built. Watch their body language and notice how quickly they lean into the discussion. The impact of your message depends on formatting data to match the listener's internal representational system.